All right, welcome to another edition of Kolkowitz Corner, and we are at the top of the month doing another market analysis. So let's take a look here. We are looking at the S&P 500, and you can see here on the monthly, we are coming back to the top. That V-shaped recovery that everyone's been talking about since the beginning of this whole COVID incident. A lot still to work out. Let's take a look at the lower time frames and see if there's any obstacles that we have to make sure we stay bullish here. Let's take a look at the weekly real quick. Okay, so you can see here we are actually above the cloud, which is great. So we are overall bullish. We have a bullish breakout that's setting up here. Still above here, like I said, above the cloud, pushing up, but we just need to break this pivot here. It's going to be our resistance that we have here. So we need to keep an eye on this. This is very important if we're going to remain bullish. If we can break above here, that would be great, and then trigger a breakout to remain bullish and go finish strong for the rest of the year. That'd be great considering all the circumstances that have happened. But let's go ahead and take a look at the lower time frame as well. We'll go ahead and take a peek at the daily. Again, here the daily is bullish. We did have some major pullbacks that occurred here. Some medium pullbacks that occurred here on the breakout. We got to pull back to the Cajunson. It did spike down here to our stop levels, pull back up, and then keep breaking, consolidating here, this little jumbo that we have. And then we broke back above and finally ended up breaking the resistance to pivot here to remain strong. So we are bullish, bullish, bullish as far as the monthly, weekly, and the daily, okay? So just make sure you look for bullish setups with some low risk, high reward, and from there, just watch your stops, okay? Until we break that resistance that we pointed out on the weekly. Let's go ahead and take a look at crude oil. Alrighty, so we can see here on crude oil, we are bearish. We even have a bearish breakout. And as we discussed before, some of the levels we marked off here, we are holding a key resistance here, this Tinkinson. And as you can see, the last month's bar closed below it. It spiked, hit it, and then ended up closing below it, and that's a sign of bearishness. We do need to see where this current month closes and to see if it's consistent with the previous bar as far as staying bearish. But as of right now, we are holding that, and if so, we look to go down. We do have a couple levels marked off here, obstacles that we need to tag first on the bearish side, but eventually the idea is if this Tinkerson holds, we could possibly retest this low. Let's take a look at the weekly and see how true that is. Okay, and as we can see here, that Tinkerson matches up with this Cajunson as well as this future SKB, and that's that resistance that we're referring to. And you can see these bars here are just closing right below it. And then we're getting, look here where we could have a possible pullback. And this would be the place where that we would target for that pullback as far as our first support. And if we do get to this, now here's a couple scenarios, all right? It shows strength and weaknesses. If we don't pull back to this level here, it's showing some bullish strength, okay? Which is, interesting going against the higher time frame, all right? If we do pull back and we hit this level here, okay, we want to see if it holds. If it does hold, we have a high probability to get to this cloud, okay? Now, if we break it and we get stopped out, then we definitely are showing strong strengths of bearish, which would correlate with the higher time frame. And in that case, maybe look for some bearish opportunities on the lower time frame, whether it be a pullback or some breakouts right around this level, okay? So we do want to see what happens here. And go from there. Let's take a look at the daily and see what's going on. And as we see here on the daily is bullish, okay? It did break out of the cloud here and is right enough. But you can see it starting to struggle here, slow down. We're still bullish, though, above the cloud, above the Cajunson, all right, which does not coincide with the two higher time frames, okay? Now, we need to watch this and see what it does. If it continues to remain bullish, that means this is trying to fight the higher time frames. Okay. Now, if we see it break down, then we'll see it break down below here and then eventually get to some of our targets. We'll have to just watch that journey. But do keep an eye on the daily to see that it breaks down before you start looking for any bearish setups. Make sure this daily starts to get in sync with the higher time frames. Okay. If not, you're going against some conflicting time frames. All right, let's move forward and let's go check out gold. Okay, so gold, clearly we've been talking about here, is broken out very bullish. And now we're starting to get some overextension dots, especially that black. That's an extreme overextension dot. Okay, so is this the end of the bullish run? I don't know. We need to see some things to give us signals for that. All right, but as of right now, we broke out this cloud of breakout. We followed the rules. We hit the preserve mode up here, and now we should be looking to either get out or tighten up our stops if we're in this trade. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the weekly. And you can see here we have the same thing. We're bullish, and we've got some overextension dots, especially that black dot. So again, correlating with the higher time frames that we have reached maybe a high and getting into some overextensions. So we need to see here what's happening. Let's go take a look at the lower time frame, see if we can get some more clues. And we have the same thing here. Some more overextension, especially that black dot. So it looks like the higher time frames, even though they're all bullish, we are getting some overextensions. So definitely looking to tighten up stops and possibly see about getting out with some profit, things like that. So don't get greedy. Take what you can. Gold's been good. I think it's kind of interesting when you talk about correlations and stuff with S&P. S&P is getting back to the top, and now gold is starting to get overextended. Okay, so we'll see what happens from here. Right, it'll be interesting to watch. Both S&P 500 and gold are at some critical key levels that we want to pay attention to. Same thing with crude oil. So keep eye on these levels, and we'll see where we're going to go for the later half of the year. Okay, let's take a look at Bitcoin. And here we are in the monthly. We are trying to break out of the cloud. Now we hit that 1200. Everybody got excited about here. Hopefully some people made some money and at least took some profits. Okay. Still overall an consolidation. Okay. We did break a key resistance. We are outside currently of the cloud, so we need to see what happens here. We did close above it. So that is a sign of a possibility. But we could go a little more bullish, but we just need to see some more signals, some more opportunities. As of right now, based on this setup, we actually have a higher probability for a pullback into the cloud. So keep that in mind. Let's go ahead and take a look at the weekly. And we have a breakout here, okay? Not the highest probability of breakouts, but still, nonetheless, a bullish breakout, okay? And we do want to keep an eye on it. I don't like that we hit this target here, this entry, and then close below it. To show some bullish strength, I would have loved to have seen this bar closed above that entry, okay? See that spike right there is a little concerning, so I don't know how much on the upside. And like I said, the higher time frame, the monthly, has a higher probability of pulling back, okay? So keep an eye on that, all right? Let's take a look at the daily and see what we got going on there. And here we have a breakout. Now, this is the type of breakout that I like, okay? It fits all the criteria that I want. So it triggered, okay? See how it closed above that entry there? I like that. It shot up to the preserve mode. We would have tightened up our stops, okay? Trailing up in here. We're still in this trade. Now, I do have some red overextension dots. I personally would have gotten out with those, okay? And just taking some profit, even though it did go up some more. But again, follow these rules, don't get greedy. Now if you're just trailing the stops, you're still in this trade and you're taking it up, okay? So you do have that option as well. So keep that in mind. I do like this breakout, but I don't like that we are now already in some overextension dots, which is also correlating and relating to the higher time frames that I was talking about, some of the issues up there for a possible pullback. So keep an eye on this, okay? And like I said, if you are taking this breakout, just ride these green dots if you're still in it, all right? If you want to see how far it can go and you're okay with what you got, because honestly, look where your green dot's at. It's up here at the preserve mode, so you are capturing in profit regardless, okay? So if you got into here and you put your stop here, you do got some. So if you're okay with riding it out, I would at least taken some profits here and left another contract on if that's the case. Again, it's all money management, how you guys are willing to stomach your risk, okay? All right. Well, that pretty much sums up everything. That was a nice little run through, quick and easy. Again, S&P 500 is coming up on a major resistance. Let's see if we can break it. Stay positive for the later half of the year. If not, definitely be observant that we are at a key level. Same thing with crude oil, has some potential to go bearish, but again, we need to see some clues on the lower time frame to confirm that. And gold might be the end of that bullish run, but again, let the chart tell the story, okay? And then of course here, Bitcoin, looking for a possible pullback. All right, and it's not to say that we couldn't go higher. I just think we might get a pullback before then, and look for an opportunity here to maybe get in and take it back up, and go from there. Again, looking for these clues. Keep your risk low. All that great stuff. Play smart. Be conservative. Don't get greedy. Again, thank you guys, and make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Later, guys.